Hey guys, what is going on? Deloraine Launch here, and welcome back to another comparison video. Where today I'll be comparing the Lego Back to the Future DeLorean to a Back to the Future model of the DeLorean. So without further ado, let's get into it. So first we'll start with some differences between these two versions of the DeLorean. So the color scheme for it is a little different because they have the primary color, which is like that sort of silver, but then at the back of the model there's like this red, black, yellow, and like this sort of greenish blue color, whereas the back of the DeLorean, the Lego version, it just has this dark blue and a bit of red, but it doesn't really have those other colors. And then another main difference is the size, because if we have them side by side, this one is a little shorter. It's probably maybe not too much shorter, maybe 2 bricks or so shorter, but then the other difference is one of them is minifig scale, and that is the Lego version, whereas the model is like a display piece, so you really don't want to display minifigs in it because you may like wreck the inside of it. So now we'll get into some similarities. I definitely think the Lego version is really accurate to the model, but there are some differences, as I did say, but some of the similarities are like the main design for it is really similar with it, all like the features and all that are really close as well, including the inside. So the sort of back with like these sort of exhaust pieces, I believe, and like the flux capacitor, it all works really nicely for the model as well. Very similar, but just in a different size. But I could definitely see why, because like they don't want to have it too small to like sort of be a useless sort of inclusion. They want to make it like you can point that out and be like, oh, that's the flux capacitor. So I really like how they have done that. And then the sides are also really similar with like this sort of piping piece going along, and then like the doors, they do both open up, and I think that just works really nicely. And then if we do turn it around, they also do have the number plate, which is out at time, and then this one is actually, oh, it actually is out of time. I thought it said something different, but I definitely think that is really cool, and they just work really nicely. But the sort of size of it and like the sort of proportion of it is just a little different, but I can see why, because they are both different sort of materials. You're going with like different sort of materials for the model, with like basically with Lego for this. And then the front is also really similar, but then the hood, in my opinion, I definitely think the Lego one is just a little strange. It just looks really sort of out of proportion compared to this one. This is like all smooth. This one is all rough, so I'm not too sure how they could have done it, because it just looks really strange compared to the model. But I definitely think they gave a pretty good shot at trying to sort of make that sort of Pacific shape. And these are actually supposed to be 1x3 tiles in a grey color, but I think the 1x4s just work a little better. It's also really strange how they don't actually have like a windscreen, so that is definitely strange how they've done that. They could have like made a brand new piece for that, or just use existing pieces, because it is actually hollow inside. And then taking a look inside the Lego DeLorean, they actually have some really nice minifig sort of scale seating in there, and they actually, wow, that piece is really fragile. It's actually sometimes like really annoying. And then inside they actually do have like the different times and dates. There's really no good angle to actually show you, but inside they actually have some tiles with like, I think it's like 1985 and like maybe 2015, that sort of date. And then I believe the model also has that, but this one might be a little hard to see yet because it's a tiny bit more small. It's like that sort of section there, but I definitely think the inside of the model definitely does have a lot more detailing, but I can see why, because if Lego included all that detail inside, it would just be all squished, and like the model would not be like this size. It'd probably be like out to here. So I can see why they've included just some features, but they also do have the flux capacitor, and I think that might have been a print or a sticker. I just don't actually remember, because I've had this set in my collection for quite a while. And then the model also does have the flux capacitor, and it is like just behind the seats here. A little hard to see because there's really no good angle you can actually show the inside detailing for both of these. A feature the LEGO version has compared to the model is that the wheels actually can move upwards, because that is supposed to represent the Back to the Future 2 when they go to 2015 with flying cars. I'm still waiting for them. I just find that really awesome, and you can actually build all three versions of the DeLorean in the instruction. So like you can build the one from the first movie, the second, or the third, but you do have to sort of change some things with it. I believe I built like the first one. I'm not actually 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure I might have built the second one because of like the wheels and then a feature. So overall, I definitely think the LEGO version is really accurate with all the detailing, the design for it, but there's definitely some parts where they could improve on, and I would definitely love to see a new version of the DeLorean, possibly maybe like a 30th anniversary of the Back to the Future movies, or even just a new model for the DeLorean, because it would be really awesome to see like an updated version with new sort of techniques, what LEGO would put into it, just new design for the DeLorean, because there's definitely a lot they could do, and they could definitely make it like a very similar size to this one, even possibly like the same size and maybe like the same width, maybe making just a little more sort of wider so you can actually fit all the detailing inside. But apart from that, I definitely think LEGO did such a great job on this DeLorean, especially for LEGO, because it's definitely hard for some features to be sort of made into LEGO, because with like the hood, that'd be definitely really interesting to see how they were to do that. And to actually see LEGO do this sort of technique, very interesting, but I would love to see a new updated version for that, and possibly maybe like a new version for like the windscreen and all that, instead of just having these pieces here and like all hollow. So, hope you guys did enjoy this video, because it was definitely really interesting to compare these two versions of the DeLorean with one another, because they both do have some similarities and differences. So I would definitely love to hear your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. And as always, guys, hope you guys did enjoy this video, and I can see you soon. Goodbye!